What does it take to turn folklore into a theatrical production? Hi, I'm Matt McKellar, and this is Q to Q, a podcast all about local North Carolina theater. And in today's episode, we are talking about Act for Youth's upcoming production of Tar Heel Tales, a play all about Western North Carolina stories. I'm joined by Seth Penwell, who is a co-director on the show, and we talk about funny stories we have, his directing style, and the show itself. I hope you enjoy. All right, so let's just get started with a quick introduction. Do you want to tell everyone about yourself?
I'm Seth Penwell, and I'm a local director. I'm a teacher. I teach Spanish. I teach theater. Um, and if I'm not working at school, then I'm probably at the theater somehow. But I've been in theater since I was 8 years old and I haven't stopped. So
Oh, how did you first get started in it? Were you an actor or on tech or?
I was an actor. My dad's coworker was in a play, and he was like, "We need a Tiny Tim." Was a Christmas Carol, obviously, and asked me to come audition, and I did, and I didn't stop after that.
Awesome. And where was that at? The Imperial Center?
That was in Nashville at National Arts that they do
Oh,
every
okay.
year still. I
Mm-hmm.
did it from time I was 8 till I think I was 19 the last one I did. So
Wow.
um yeah, yeah, became
I
kind
may
of a
have
tradition.
actually seen that. I may have seen that when you were in it.
Quite possibly. Yeah.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we've done many shows together. You've directed many shows I've been in, and we've also acted alongside each other. And you've also
That's
stage
true.
managed
That's true.
some shows, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so, what are your favorite memories from some shows that we've been in together?
Well, Peter and the Starcatcher is probably um my favorite show that I've ever directed.
Mm-hmm.
And SpongeBob. So they're pretty close. But Peter and the Starcatcher was definitely a dream. And like the moment that always sticks out to me in that, obviously the end of Act One, the big image of the silhouette and all that kind of stuff is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that moment that comes to my mind first. It's um when your character and Molly, because you were Peter, um, like you were looking out into the stars, into the distance, and you and Molly were just having this really like calm, quiet conversation. And like for you, you just had this look in your eye, like you were fully immersed in that character, and you could tell that you were more or less feeling what the character was feeling. And I think the audience was able to feel that. And like that really small moment is the one that I come back to every time as a favorite memory from one of the shows that we've done.
Oh, dang, that's funny. What act was that in?
It's in the first one. You went downstage left, and because you saw a star, like with a flashlight to the stars over the
Was that
ceiling,
my
like out
like
over the audience.
monologue?
Yeah, where you like
Yeah.
sat down on the ground at the end, she put her hand on your shoulder, and it was just this
Mm-hmm.
like wonderfully subtle, like I don't know, like I think it was really powerful to be really calm in that moment because that show can get chaotic. So when you have some big moments and then you find those little moments and it pays off so well, and I think that was one of them. Just like the end of the show is another payoff when you're saying goodbye. Because we had all this build up, and then we slow way down, and it's just this wonderful payoff that I would hope like tugs at everybody's heartstrings.
Mm-hmm. What are some of your dream shows to direct or be in?
Oof. Okay. So let's go with directing. Hairspray was always on the list, so
Mhm.
that's convenient. Everybody should audition.
Yes, because
Uh,
for those who don't know, Hairspray will be the Wilson Arts Summer Show, and
yeah.
you're directing that, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah. And then Shrek is one where I would like to direct, but I would also like to play Farquaad. I think that
Mhm.
would be hysterical and just so much fun. Um, I also the last couple, I've always wanted to direct Almost Maine. I don't know if you know that one.
Uh,
It's a play. It's like I
okay.
think it's 9 different scenes, and it's these couples that are falling either in love or out of love, and they
Okay.
all like the story wise is that in theory they all happen at the exact same time. You're just
Mhm.
seeing the different scenes, and it's just really, it's just fun well, it can be fun and it can be sad. It's just a really good story, I think, sentimental. And then I would like to direct Finding Neverland to kind of round out my Peter Pan saga because that's my favorite story. So
Yes, I love the music in Finding Neverland. I think it's beautiful, absolutely
yeah,
beautiful. Do you tend to favor more dramatic pieces or more, um, comedic pieces?
it's a good question. I
I
feel
feel
like
like
I
you
go
have a
back
good
and
balance, you know?
that's what I was gonna say. I feel like I go back and forth. I feel um like like I can do the almost slapsticky comedy and not me personally. I don't think I can act it as well as I can direct it, but um and like make people laugh, but I feel like that I really like the moments that are a little more dramatic and make people feel something other than just laugh. My favorite, he's a screenwriter and he's a playwright, Aaron Sorkin. Nobody's gonna be surprised that I just brought up the West Wing in this conversation, but Sean Braswell will be very proud. Um,
Mhm,
but he says he doesn't believe in dramas and comedies and all this. Like he believes in musicals and non-musicals and
mhm,
everything should include all those genres within it. So, like if I feel like if I can take the audience on a journey, and obviously the script has to provide those opportunities, but take you through moments where you're laughing, and then suddenly we drop out and like you feel something and like you feel that emotion, and it's not just funny, but you're on this little bit of an emotional coaster. Like that to me is the win. So the balance is, I think, is a good point. Obviously, some things are just going to be straight comedy. It's not meant to be emotional, sort of thing. Uh, but I think those are the best stories, and I think those are the times that I enjoy directing the most. And um, I find myself drawn towards those types of stories.
yeah. Have you had any standout moments that resonate with you as an actor?
I would say the most fun I ever had in acting in a show was Hairspray, just because I was a council kid, like one of the Corny Collin kids. Um, because it's just like 2 hours of high energy, fun. Obviously, there's some important stories and meaningful stories in there that can take a little more of a like not dramatic, but like emotional importance there. But it's also just a fun story. It's a fun show. So that one's the one that stands out the most. And then with A Christmas Carol, I mean, I played everything from Tiny Tim to Bob Cratchit to Scrooge. So like that was just a cool journey to see
Mhm,
that show from different perspectives and different characters' perspectives.
that's cool. Um, what challenges have you faced as a director teaching kids? Because you direct so many different projects, but primarily you direct Act for Youth shows, correct?
That
Um,
and my school, yeah.
yeah, in your school. So you have lots of experience working with youth. Now, what are the challenges that come along with that?
So I'm gonna phrase it differently than a challenge, if that's okay. So obviously, uh, students are learning,
Mhm,
and it's actually kind of cool to see the difference between the difference between like school and Act for Youth.
mhm,
Uh, because the ones with Act for Youth might have a little more experience, right? Or and then like do it other places or the ones from school. Maybe that's just their only thing. But
mhm,
what's interesting is to like talk to them through the scene and help them discover the character and I'm not really like doing deep character analysis, but like how to act the scene, what's funny, and along the way teaching them those things. Like, why do we do things in three? Why are you exiting this way and then coming back this way? Like, why is that important? Um, so I think it's not really a challenge, but like the extra step is in addition to just putting the show together, you're also teaching them how theater works and how acting works and how staging works and why these things are important. And then on the flip side of that, when you get to the show, or even in rehearsal, but like that actor finally gets it and they hit the mark and it's perfect and it's exactly what it's supposed to be, and the audience gives the feedback you want them to give, and you can almost see it on their face. You certainly can see it afterwards, like how happy they are that they finally had their moment and they got it and that people saw it. And it's just really rewarding for them, but it's so rewarding for me to be able to see um, people have, particularly students, an opportunity to shine and have their moment.
Is it a lot of work being a director? How much prep do you do for a show?
Yeah, I mean, what the actors see is what's in the room, right? But and those 2 or 3 hours of rehearsal each time. But yeah, I mean, I have a script. Going through it. I'm making notes. I'm doing online research. Um, with musicals, a lot of times I listen to the soundtrack over and over and over, and I'm very visual as far as like I can see the show in my head, if that makes sense. So like as I listen to the music or as I read the script, like it's the images of what's going to happen on stage are forming in my head. So I'm doing all of that before I ever walk into the theater and block the show or help direct the show.
And we talked about Peter and the Starcatcher, but we haven't talked about your other favorite show, SpongeBob. Why
Yeah.
was that so special to you?
Okay, so I had always wanted to direct a high-end or high-energy musical, and that was not only that, it was the first musical I had ever directed. So it was just so like it was so exciting and it was terrifying to be honest because I had directed plays and at that point I had directed several but way fewer than I have at this point. So I went in with some nerves and maybe not as confident as I could have been. Uh, but it's so fun and despite it being SpongeBob, it has a great story about friendship and being there for each other. And you're able to get through anything sort of kind of story. Uh, but then it had all its own specific challenges to make it happen. So like we used projections and one of my favorite stories, yeah, is we did these projections on portholes, like from a
Mhm.
ship, and like these projections told lots of elements of the story. So they
Yeah.
had to work. If they did not work, then we had to change the blocking and tell the story in a different way. We didn't have the projections until like 2 nights before we opened, fully working, and it worked. And Sean, the um, uh, theater arts coordinator at the time, we looked at each other and he goes, I didn't think that was actually going to work. And I said, me neither. And like we just went for it. We knew it. We knew we figured something out. But it had lots of cool challenges. The volcano was fun. And I mean, I spent hours trying to figure out the volcano, but I could ramble on and on. But it was just a really fun show. It was really rewarding. There were singers in that show that really enjoyed it. Um, Lots of tears by the end of it. So it was good.
I love that story that you provided about the projections. Um, that's just like a lesson with theater because as much as you prepare, you do rehearsals for months for a show, but truly, as you get up close to the show date and the big deadline of opening night, there is a lot of thinking on your feet, and
Mhm.
anything can happen in the show. It's live theater. Um, there's a lot of uncertainty of how well the show is gonna play out.
And
Even
sometimes you don't know until you're in that moment, right? Leading up to it, like, oh, that did not work anywhere close to how we thought it was gonna work.
yeah,
But
yeah. Sometimes you prepare this line as like, oh, in rehearsal, this is gonna get a huge laugh, but then it totally flops on stage.
nothing.
Yes, we've all had that. Especially if you do a lot of comedic roles, um,
Yeah.
yeah, you hope for at least half of your lines to land.
Yeah.
I feel
Fair.
you've
Fair.
you've done your job if that happened. Let's talk about Tar Heel Tales. Explain the show to me, the whole premise of the show.
Yeah, so it's five, like, yeah, it's five stories from Western North Carolina and like the mountains. And they're just like folklore stories, basically. And each of them sort of like a parable, have some sort of lesson to them. Um, like, what are the consequences of being peer pressured or like persevering or stuff like that. I don't want to give too much away. But they're also funny and entertaining. But it's these five stories that are loosely, like there's some overlapping characters, but the storyline itself is basically five individual stories.
Nice. That's very cool. I think it's great that Act for Youth has expanded its season this year, and you the different kids in the program to can do interesting and productions that hit very close to home. You know, being a local North
Yeah.
Carolina community theater group, being able to do something about North Carolina, I think that's really cool. You're co-directing this with Thomas Mooney, correct?
Right.
What is it like to work with him?
I Okay, so one of the things that I always love is to watch people think. So it's really cool to like watch them sit and try to figure out. Well, he's obviously done all the prep work, but like put it together, or when something comes up, I'm like, okay, well, how do we figure this out? And to watch him figure it out. But we also collaborate. There's like this one moment where we have to sort of create this figure on stage. I don't want to again give too much away, but like we work together to sort of figure out how to create that and what it's going to look like. And it's actually a little bit of callback to Peter and the Starcatchers, where we got some of the inspiration with the crocodile.
Oh
So
yeah,
it's just really fun to work together to um, bring the show together.
yeah. I love that style of theater when you use different set pieces and props to create an image on stage. I think,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I'm much prefer a show that uses practical things creatively. You know,
that's
I
fair.
think it's so cool, and it allows for the audience to imagine the show in a completely new light. Um,
Yeah.
are there any actors in the show that have stood out to you, that you think are doing a good job?
Well, it's a very much an ensemble piece.
It
So
is.
everyone has their moments, and they're all doing a great job. It's been fun to watch them like figure out their characters because they're all playing
Mhm.
multiple characters, and then watch the differences between the two. And there's a lot of physical comedy, and watching that sort of come to be and figure that out. So they're all doing a great job. They're all impressive. Um, yeah, I mean everybody's gonna love what they're doing.
That's good. How long is the show?
Around an hour, maybe just under an hour. I
Okay,
think
so
it's
it's
about
it's a
what it
very
is.
enjoyable watch. It's short,
Yeah,
sweet.
and it feels fast too because it's five different stories. It's not just
Mm,
1 hour long story arcs, right? But
yeah, that's nice. So, what do you hope audiences will take away from Tar Heel Tales?
I think the most interesting, obviously I told you there's some morals, kind of like a parable, but I think the most interesting thing to take away from it is actually, especially being in North Carolina, that these are North Carolina stories that have been passed around and then eventually written down because it comes from a book, and then turned into a play. So I think it's what I would hope they would take from it is a little bit of extra cultural connection to North Carolina.
Yeah, I think that's just so cool and special. Um,
Yeah.
do you hope to direct more shows with Act for Youth next season?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So we'll see what is on the season.
Yes, I'm totally excited to see. We'll find that out, everyone. The Edna Awards, correct? I
I
think so.
assume so. That would
Yeah,
be,
I
yeah,
think
I
we'll find
guess.
the Edna Awards. Which for those who don't know are the awards for Act for Youth at the end of the season, for all the people, for everyone who is involved in the program. Do you have any advice for young actors who want to get involved in community theater but are maybe too afraid to?
My thing is just go for it. Take the big role, take the small role, take the tech role, take whatever you see, right? Whatever opportunity goes. Um, my own experience is I had some lead roles and I did that sort of thing, but I'm not the best actor in the world, and I know
Hmm.
that, and that's fine. But I learned and then got those opportunities from taking whatever opportunity was given to me and watching those around me, right? Watching the actors who had experience, watching the stage managers, watching the directors, and learning from them. So if you have a chance, take it because you're going to learn something no matter what. Uh, and so that's my biggest piece of advice. Is it scary? Sure, but you have a whole room full of people who want nothing more than for you to succeed at what you're doing on that stage or behind the scenes.
Yes, it's a community effort to put a show together, and the community outside of the community you build in the show wants you to succeed and comes to support the show, and
Yeah.
it wants to see you being the happiest you've been, and you doing the best that you can do. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I love what you said about, having a big part or small part or lead. To me, what I've learned with theater, it took me a while to get a good part in a show. Like you did theater for a year or two, and it was ensemble, and then small role here, small role there. And then I started getting bigger parts, but I've learned that it's really not about the size of the part. Um, it's just about your experience with the show. Because I find, like now, whatever role I get, um, it's all about just like having fun and being present in the moment in the show. Something I always like to say is there are no small roles, but only small actors. Um, I think that couldn't be more true. But yeah, is there anything else you would like to say for the interview?
No, I'm good. Come out, see the show. Come see all the
Yes.
other sixes coming up. I know you did one with that. Come
Mm-hmm.
audition for things Wilson Community Theater is a thriving place, and I hope everyone comes out and supports it. I know this isn't just Wilson, like you're doing Rocky Mount and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But just speaking to Wilson specifically, but go everywhere. There's so much theater. Go enjoy it. Go help make it stay alive.
Yes. Even if you don't want to get involved, go watch a show. Go watch. Anything, because I think it's the truest form of art. You get to feel it in the space that you're in, and it's amazing. What are the
Yeah.
dates for the show? Do you know?
It's this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that depends on when you listen to this podcast, right? So it's the 10th, 11th, and 12th. So,
Awesome.
Friday the 10th is at night, and then Saturday and Sunday are matinees. Um, or yeah,
That's cool. Are you involved in any? Because also, uh, Wilson Arts has summer camps. Are you involved? Are going to be involved in any summer camps this year, performing art
I'm
with the?
not directing any of them, but I think I'm
Okay,
going to be helping out with some of them. Yeah,
nice. I plan to help out with some of them as well, and I'm excited to see them and watch them. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, thank you for coming on. I think we had a great
yeah.
discussion. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
All
See ya.
right. A huge thank you to Seth Penwell for coming on the show today. Make sure to check out Act for You's production of Tar Heel Tales that is playing Friday, April 10th at 7 p.m., Saturday, April 11th at 11 a.m. for a relaxed rules performance, a normal performance at 2 p.m. that day, and then it closes Sunday, April 12th at 3 p.m. Thanks for listening to Q to Q as well. If you enjoyed this podcast and support community theater, please subscribe to Q the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram. Thank you.